Good evening, ladies and gents. Tonight we have another scene in Zooster City. Arthur's come back. There's been a bit of a kerfuffle, and he wants to be involved in it. Partly because he thinks it sounds fun, and partly because his duty as a bishop means he should come pay attention to it. He still is a bishop of Zooster after all. He comes back, and the first person he went to see was Papa Louis, who he had a conversation with. And Papa Louis was telling him about a new face in town. A very memorable face at that, or what was left of it. So, Arthur, looking for a little bit of fun, asked Papa Louis where he thinks he could find her. And he finds her in somewhere in the south of the city, an old workshop that Arthur actually remembers fondly. And he will go there. He's in obfuscate, and he approaches the house. And what does he see?
Arthur will make his way into the old auto park, the old automotive shop. The barbed wire fence has been unchained and left open. And when he makes his way through the various abandoned cars, he makes his way to the auto shop. It's heavy metal sliding door pulled down. And he will find sorry about that. He will find the door opens extremely easily.
He's still maintaining obfuscate, and he will peek inside. Or peek through a window.
What he'll see on the inside is various tools left about. Looks like they haven't been touched in almost a year. But along the grime, there will be footprints. Bare footprints, actually. As though someone was walking about in their bare feet. He'll see traces of drag marks, all leading to the lower bay of the auto shop.
Arthur, he'll still maintaining obfuscate, sneak over, being as quiet as he can, and he will take a look around. He's very interested.
Well, the upstairs again is pretty unremarkable. There is a car rack which looks like it's had some recent use, but it's probably the only clean thing in there, as though it has been washed recently. And the grime around it has also been cleaned out, oddly enough. When he makes his way into the lower bay, however, there is a slight hint of sound coming from a part of the place. It is essentially a oil room, a place where all the pump mechanics and tanks for the oil and other various lubricants and things that are normally pumped up through hoses, which have long since been removed, but a heavy door actually is agape about 3 feet, and from within inside he can hear the sound of, well, the Moonlight Sonata is actually playing.
He will head on down, maintaining obfuscate and being sneaky.
When he comes in, he will find an odd oil lamp burning in the center of the room, and it is oddly illuminated. And as he makes his way in, he'll notice that on the walls, each individual wall, there are manacles, which look like they have recently been installed. And on several sets of these, there are people, bodies hanging, chained by their feet and by their wrists, their ankles and their wrists. And you'll notice that there is no discernible features on them. Their faces have been stripped of features. Their bodies relinquished of any, well, for the most part, any sort of identifying gender mark. Certainly genitalia and things of that nature have been removed.
If he aura perceived, they're all human.
They are all human, actually, yes.
Well, he'll keep looking for the occupier. Leave these poor souls.
As he makes his way further back, he eventually comes to another room, which is also lit by oil lamps. And he can tell that there is actually no working power supply down here. You will see a figure standing in front of a person who is tied to a car rack, just like upstairs. He's bound by his arms and his legs and gagged, and a figure who looks to be very starkly nude, but not quite in a purely human form, has her back turned to Arthur at this point as she seems to be working her magic.
Arthur will walk into the room again, keeping Obfuscate up. He'll look at what she's doing.
Her fingers are currently working into his chest area, removing nipples and sealing up the flesh, correcting it over, and making it smooth and a barren surface. And she moves down to his abdomen and slowly works away the area of a navel, or belly button, as some might call it. She seems to be doing much the same thing to the people in the other room. She seems to be working very meticulously, taking time on each part that she fleshcrafts.
Okay. Arthur's seen enough Tzimisce to think he knows what he sees. He knows one thing about Tzimisce. They don't like being coming into people's haven unobtrused. So he will leave. He will head back out to the front door and knock on it. And while he is knocking, use the through her discipline of presence to summon her to the front door.
Jesus.
It's difficulty 7, as we've only met briefly. However, that's 4 successes. You will come running as fast as you can to the front door.
Well, that definitely puts a kibosh on any attempt to fleshcraft. Evaline will have an odd feeling in the back of her head, and then she'll wince a few times as she finds her feet moving against her will, or at least rather not at her own command, and she begins to make her way up into the auto shop garage area. Moving along, not taking any time to place on a robe or anything of that nature. She comes to the door and stops at it, and slowly opens it. And what Arthur Thane will behold in front of him is a woman. She's only about 5 feet and 6 inches tall, somewhat small. Her eyes have had most of the flesh around the orbitals completely removed. Her mandible and jaws have bits of hollow places. where the jaw or the muscles can be seen. Her rib cage is fleshcrafted in a way that allows the muscle tissue underneath the bone to actually be visible, and the bone is actually pulled upwards slightly. Ever the victim or practitioner of metamorphosis, she just stares at Arthur with very placid eyes, and she holds her head to one side. Yes?
Well, are you going to invite me in?
Who are you?
Who are you?
It's customary for you to be rude and...
It is customary for me to be rude.
I see. Well, that with no name, give me something I can call you by before I invite you in.
Your Grace.
Very well, Your Grace. Would you care to join me inside?
I would care to. And Arthur will walk in.
Evaline will shut the door behind him and walk over to the car rack, and she'll...
Now, let me guess what clan you are. Not a Malkavian. Not a Toreador. Not a Nosferatu, although that might explain the... And Arthur gestures to the face. No, Tzimisce, right?
Your powers of deduction are quite astounding, Your Grace.
Yeah, I know. So, I've been in many a Tzimisce haven. Let me guess what you've got downstairs. Let me have a think. A bunch of flesh-crafted humans all strung up, all signs of identification and individuality removed from them. Then in another back room, you've got something you're working on. Am I right?
I think she's going to roll a perception empathy on this. It's not a great dice pool, but whatever. You never know.
You never know. What's she trying to find?
He's hit the nail so hard on the head. And the fact that she has been summoned without ever having met Arthur before.
Yeah.
Does
she have that much knowledge of the discipline of presence there?
I'm going to let you make the call on that one.
If
nothing else, hitting the nail on the head. So squarely.
You can make a roll for absolutely.
Only one success.
And what were you trying to deduce?
Just wanting to see if he's saying it in a sarcastic manner, or
he's being playful, definitely.
Okay. Quite some insight you have there, Your Grace.
I'm an insightful person. My hundreds of years of being a bishop of the Sabbat means I've got a good working knowledge of how these things work. So, my name's Arthur. What's your name?
I was called Evaline for longer than I can remember. I've forgotten what I was called beforehand, so it will suffice.
And you're new to Zustera.
Yes.
You've met with one of my friends already. Gentleman named Louis.
Yes, indeed I have.
Well, did you like him?
Louis had an interesting philosophy, and I do find that the path of death and soul sometimes suits a good conversation between the metamorphosists and those that are more inclined towards seeing what happens after the spirit leaves the body.
Metamorphosists. Well, I can't say I've met many of you. Outside of Mexico City, I mean.
We're a dying breed in a manner of speaking.
A dying breed. Well, we're all dead, not it?
At that point, she'll actually tilt her head to one side and give that expression of, really?
Arthur will ignore it. So, what brings you to sunny Zuster?
I suppose that Louis did not inform you, but that is alright. There are several cities that I've made my way through since being released from my sire's tutelage.
I thought you were going to say clutches.
I have no ill will towards my sire. I found being in his presence was very enlightening. But
Wonderful.
the various cities that I have visited, Detroit, Boston, they were all places where well-established cainites dwell. And if I am to make myself useful, if I am going to stand out, I'm going to establish myself in the sort of cane. Places like Boston, New York, Detroit are not necessarily the place to make your mark, at least initially. Sister needs bodies, and I can provide that.
Well, you certainly stand out. I'll give you that one for free. So, what are we going to do tonight? I'm bored. It's your job tonight as a member of the Sabbat to entertain your bishop.
I can teach you the finer points of how you tick on the inside.
Yeah, that sounds messy. I'd rather not. Maybe on someone else.
Do you know the powers of the Tzimisce? Are you able to...
My dear, look at this face. I think I was born with this.
Then perhaps you would like to join me downstairs and help me with my work.
If I'm honest, I'm a bit squeamish when it comes to stuff like that. I see your path of metamorphosis, I'm on path of Cathari. You mold the body, I mold the soul, as it were.
I thought the Cathari were all about having a good time and indulging in their whims.
A common misconception. We like to keep up appearances, and I'll agree we do find a certain spiritual enlightenment in the decadence. But really, we're just all about making the world a worse place. I've neglected the religious aspects. They're in it for the sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And besides, it's certainly not one of my whims to go chopping up half-dead bodies. Where's the fun in that? I prefer to maim people through conversation.
Might I ask what clan you are?
Certainly. I'm a Buha.
I see.
You see? Something wrong with that? You're a racist, eh?
No, the Bruja have their place in the Sword of Cain, just as the Tzimisce or the La Sombra do.
Yeah, but apparently the Bruja don't have their place right at the top.
Who really does have their right or their place at the top? The Tzimisce will claim it, the La Sombra will claim it, but so will the Toreador, the Malkavians, the Bruja. I've even seen Aravnos once claim that their clan was right there at the top echelon.
Well, the Toreador can say that. The region is Toreador after all. But you see, the Bruja, well, there's not many of us, especially not after the Civil War, rocking the top of the Sabbat. We're not really trusted. I think that the loyalist faction tends to be a bit weakened these days. Not that I'm a loyalist myself, of course. Hippies. But you see, I'm a bit of a historian myself. Not gonna lie, bit of a geek. And I remember reading about how the Savast started the Anarch Revolt. And do you want to know who started the Anarch Revolt? It wasn't the Tzimisce, it wasn't the Sombra, it was Clan Bruja. First people to shake off the blood bonds of the elders.
Well, you certainly do have a point. I'll give you that much.
Not what it matters to. Your path of metamorphosis, it's all about change. I must imagine you find us Bruja awfully tedious. We're always looking to the past, aren't we? It's either Carthage, or I'm saying this about the Anarch Revolt, or Constantinople, all these tedious old times. Stuck in the past, aren't we?
Well, the past is static and is set, and it will never change. But one must often look to the past in order to at least know where the future can lead to.
That's true. Now, if I look at the past, all I see is an awful lot of complicated, fucked up bullshit. So this leads me to deduce, with my superb powers of observation, that it's just going to be more of the same. What do you think?
I think we're in a war that can never truly be won, if you want my honest opinion.
Heresy. A heresy I actually happen to agree with.
But it is certainly a war that can be gained the upper hand of. As long as free will is in existence, there will always be those that descend with the goal of the Sword of Cain, whether they are within the sect or without.
Interesting. I'm bored of conversation now. No, I don't want to come down to your little laboratory. I don't imagine it would. I don't imagine it sounds that fun. Not for me, at least. What else can we do that would be interesting? And we'll get to know each other, you know. Little play date.
I found ice skating to be rather enjoyable last evening.
Ice skating? What do you go ice skating with?
Individuals known as Yo-Yo, James Graham, a impetulant young unblooded cainite by the name of Barnaby, Father Burns and his ghoul.
Yeah, I recognize some of those names. Some of them were in my little crusade in New York not too long ago. Everyone comes running back to Zuster and leaves poor old Arthur on his own. Bored. No soldiers to bully around. What am I supposed to do, eh? I should keep them all tied up like you've got your little dolls down there, shouldn't I?
You'd be surprised how much you can learn about someone by just sitting and observing them when they can do really nothing. It's amazing to see how they twist and what they say. Although I am afraid that I got tired of the hoarse screams after the second night, and I decided that for now they don't need to speak. They're on a bit of quiet time. It's very counterproductive when you're trying to make, well, work out of what it is you do.
And what I'll do? What's your newest project?
I am seeing if there is a way to make an entire haven out of nothing but living components, something that can sustain itself.
Arthur just gives you a look like, what the fuck? Why?
Why not? To push the limit of the human form.
And where would you keep this haven?
Tucked away.
Rent it out? Sublet it maybe? Get a lodger in?
No, this is simply for my own studies. I have no intention of sharing it.
That's very greedy of you. I might order one. One person house, please.
Well, if it pans out, we'll see how many individuals it would take to craft it. They would all have to be of similar builds, similar blood types. In fact, they would have to be the same blood type. In good health, I would say. And it would require a copious amount of blood.
Everything requires a copious amount of blood these days.
This will require a copious amount of vampire vitae.
Oh, really?
Well,
I
if
do
you're
get
going...
such a thing.
I hear that the Camarilla make good juice boxes.
I don't think they make any better or worse juice boxes than the Sabat. It's just they're not off limits, as it were.
Yes. But my projects will likely bore you or perhaps even turn your stomach. I'm not sure which.
I'm a bit squeamish.
You said so already. I'm going to assume that it is the boredom that would keep you from my work. Your grace.
I just don't have a mind for it, my dear. Just don't appreciate it.
There is something I do enjoy.
Go on.
I'm rather skilled with my hands and my feet. It is the one aspect of myself before I was brought in the fold that I can distinctly remember.
Mm-hmm.
Messiah said he found me in Israel, and I assume it is that background that instinctually gives me an edge in hand-to-hand combat.
Hand-to-hand combat. Well, we can throw down, as it were, if you like.
If it's all the same to you, you're a bishop, and I would rather not strike a bishop upon the first time meeting them.
You want to go punch someone else then?
I would very much enjoy to go punch someone else.
Alright, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what, I've been pretty bored lately. Let's go find... Actually, I know exactly where to go. And if you're really, really good, I'll give you a little present.
I'm intrigued.
And, yeah, Arthur, yeah, if you got like a hoodie or something, if you go like that, it might be a bit, well, I mean, there's naked and there's showing your bones.
Evaline will just simply
Look,
smirk.
don't get me wrong, but...
She'll smirk and simply begin to pour the blood into herself as she places her hands on various places on her body and begins to fleshcraft herself into a more suitable appearance, giving herself feminine features once again. Her features were rather formless before, blank slate, so to speak.
Do you know what you remind me of? Have you ever been to like a runway fashion show? Some of the girls would kill to be as skinny as that. Like they've got their bones showing anyway.
She'll simply just look up at him in mid-transformation until she's finally gotten herself back to a human state, and standing there quite starkly naked, she makes her way to a locker where she pulls out a bit of clothing and dresses herself. Is this a bit more suitable for going out and about?
I mean, I think almost anything would be, so yeah.
Hmm. Well then, lead the way, Your Grace.
I shall. Arthur will go outside. And outside is a rented sports car. He says, "Now, I'm not the best driver in the world, I'm going to confess. When I was embraced, that we didn't even have these machines. But I know where we can go." And Arthur will make a dex drive roll. He'll get in. Now I'm going to make a dex drive roll because Arthur literally can't drive. It'll be difficulty 7, but he's got enough dice. Or maybe not. No successes. Arthur begins to rev up the car, revs it up, stalls it. It's like juttering backwards and forwards, and he's like, "Fucking thing! Can you drive?"
She'll shrug her shoulders. I can give it a shot. I've never had the cause to.
Nah, I get it. And Arthur will get her to drive. Do you have any dots in drive?
Nope.
Okay, well,
Never enough points in character creation.
roll your dexterity, difficulty 7.
Alright. She's used enough this week. She does a pretty damn good job considering her dice.
She puts Arthur to shame and is able to drive rather well, actually. Maybe not as refined as someone that actually learned how to do the bloody thing, but Carl's getting from A to B pretty well. Arthur will direct her to. He knows the south of the city really well, actually. Arthur will direct her to. He'll direct her to a basketball court. He knows. He's maybe hunted there once or twice, and it's basically like a basketball court, floodlit, and there's a group of hoodlums playing basketball, and some of them are just hanging around listening to music. There's a couple of skateboarders, stuff like that.
Evaline will place the car into park, mimicking what she's seen on the television, and pull what she assumes is the handbrake and clicks it off as she will likely stall the car at that point, but make it look as though she actually meant to do that. And she will look as the car goes silent, and she looks out at the basketball court. Street toughs.
Yeah, street toughs. Not much else around here, though, unfortunately. We could find some gangbangers, but these guys, I mean, it's always a bit funner to like freak out these guys, isn't it? So much that you should do. I want you to go start a fight. I don't want you to lose. It'll be funny.
She'll turn.
We'll go start a fight. It'll amuse me.
She'll turn to Arthur. I see.
And then after you've lost, I want you to get up and surprise me, but do something spectacular. Freak these people out. I want to see them all running away. If that little blonde girl pulls out some crazy voodoo.
I see. I'll need to borrow something, if that's all right.
Oh, what's that?
A bone?
My bone?
Yes.
God, no. No fucking way.
Well, you did say you were squeamish.
Yeah, I'm a real wuss.
Very well. Evaline will exit the car and shut the door. And she'll make her way out to the basketball court where I'm guessing the young urban gentlemen are going about and playing some late night basketball under the lights.
Yeah, just a group of lads playing basketball.
Hmm.
They'll see you and they'll most of them will ignore you, but one or two might make some comments, kind of like wolf whistles, that sort of thing.
Evaline will make her way towards one of the gentlemen on the court that decided to make a cat call towards her.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll actually approach him and maybe sway her hips a bit as she comes up towards him.
He'll just be like, "What are you doing out late so night? What are you doing out what are you doing out so late? Cute little thing walking around. You can meet some bad people on these streets."
She's going to buff her strength by 2 points before she starts anything,
Mm-hmm.
bringing it up to 4. And she'll simply place a left hand on his cheek and smile warmly at him.
All his mates will start making kind of comments like, "Oh, pull tonight, mate," that sort of thing.
And she will then go for a very distinctive punch towards his throat.
Hmm.
A dirty maneuver, to be precise.
Certainly.
Alright. 2 successes.
Yep.
So that's strength.
Specialty in dirty fighting works.
Yes. Arthur will notice her take a very distinctive stance when she does this, and when her elbow sort of comes up for the strike to the, he'll notice that she goes directly for the neck, aimed primarily for the windpipe. And that is 4 dice.
Mm-hmm.
And she manages 1 success.
As it's the windpipe, I'm going to say it's lethal damage. Yeah, you whack the guy in the throat. He takes a step back, coughs, bends over, just coughs, and everyone just suddenly takes a turn, and they're just like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!"
And if she'll be able to, has he gone down to 1 knee?
Yeah, he does. One lethal will do that.
She's going to follow up with a knee directly to the nose, grabbing a hold of his head all at once, kind of like directly to try and literally smash his septum right up into the skull cavity.
Go for it. Difficulty will be 6.
All
Because
right.
he's well, yeah, for a cold shot, but still, it'll be go up 2 difficulty and then go down because he's prone.
Yeah. I'm gonna put 1 more blood into strength.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So strength 5. Would this be considered dirty fighting? I don't really think so.
Yeah, I'm happy for it to be.
Okay. 2, 4, 5, 6. 6 successes. So strength plus 5, that's 10 damage. That's a respectable damage roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. Heal. I'll roll the circle on this. Oh wait, it was to the head, wasn't it?
It's to the head, and she aimed directly for the septum, driving upwards.
There is a horrible squelching sound, a crack, a spray of blood from his face, and the guy just drops like a sack of shit. Everybody, the other people around, just like, holy fucking shit, and a lot of them will pile on you.
Okay. She'll allow them to pile on. I mean, she'll definitely take a defensive stance and, you know, grab a hold of at least the one that hits her first. But she'll do very little as I'm guessing they're trying to stomp her and restrain her, perhaps.
I think they're being quite aggressive. They basically just two of them grab their buddy and they're like, "Holy shit!" Another four just lay into you.
Okay.
They're screaming obscenities at you. I mean, they're very shocked at what happened.
All right. Gonna spend a point of blood for stamina.
Mm-hmm. They just begin. Kicking you. Yeah, you're a vampire. Punches and kicks. I mean, internal damage. It certainly hurts. Hurts as much as it would if you were human, but you don't have any internal organs to really. Well, not any that work to really damage. And yeah, you take a beating. You'll go down. One of them will kick you in the head, calling you a crazy psycho blonde bitch. And yeah, what do you want to do?
She'll wait for a moment while she's being, pummeled on, and she'll continue to let them beat on her for a good bit, at least until they can get their, I'm going to assume, dead friend get pulled away.
He's not dead yet, but he will be. He sort of takes lethal.
She'll at that point she'll activate. She's going to use vicissitude on the guy who's literally on top of her. Yeah. She's got her hands like upon his neck.
Mm-hmm.
She is literally going to just pull out his windpipe. So
I don't think you can use vicissitude as just like a weapon like that.
Yeah.
You can't. Yeah, you can't just like remove chunks of people. I don't think anyway. You can do the attack where you crush the guy's heart, can't you?
Bonecraft. Yeah, I'll do that. Why not? Let's see. First, she's going to make a strength and medicine roll.
Mm-hmm.
For difficulty, or to basically grow small bone spurs on her knuckles. She'll do that first. So that's 5, 9. It's difficulty 7.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets 2 successes on that. One for each set of knuckles.
I think one of those ones you've crossed out as a 7.
Yeah, it's a difficulty 7, so it's.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the 6 is done.
My bad.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right, and she's then going to place her hands on his. Our first thing she's going to do is she's just going to punch him directly in the face with those bone spurs on her knuckles.
Go for it.
All right.
You're let's say you've taken 4 bashing from the kicking.
All right, so I'll roll soak for it in just a minute. Or do you just want me to say I'm at 4 bashing in general?
I mean, yeah, just say between all the beatings.
All right, that is 2 successes on the punch, and this will all be lethal.
As well.
Because they do strength plus 1, so it's strength plus 2, which is 7 dice. 1, 2, 3. 3 lethal to the pretty much to the face.
This guy, you smash him in the face. The bone knuckles just there's a crack and a slash and blood, and yeah, he just falls back. He's only a human. 3 lethal is pretty fucking terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
And he just falls back, and his mates are just like, "Bitch has got a knife."
And she'll at that point lift her arms up so they're square with her rib cage, and she's holding her hands open but keeping her knuckles deliberately angled away from them so they can't see.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll smirk as she says to them in a very placid tone, "You're welcome to come and try and find it on me."
One of the guys is just like, yeah, one of the guys he's just like, fuck this bitch. He pulls out a pocket knife and he will just come at you with it.
Alright, she'll split her action. She's gonna spend a point to up her dex to 5. So she's walking 5s and across the board. And she's gonna split her action into a can she parry with those bone spurs on her knuckles?
No, it's not a melee weapon.
Okay. Then what she'll do is she will block with the first attack, or the first action, and then the second action she'll follow up with a called shot to the throat. Another dirty fighting, but with the lethal claws.
Yeah, sure.
Alright.
Which is your smallest dice pool for them?
It'll be 4 either way. I mean, it's 9 dice, so you split it in half, round down, so it's going to be 4 for both.
Yeah, cool.
So, let's see here. You going to make an attack roll, or just based on my successes for the block?
Wow, actually 3 successes and no specialty.
Alright.
He just lunges for your general body.
Alright, first one is 1 success.
Okay, so that's a hit.
Yep.
Yeah, he slashes you. You try and block it, but he's just a bit too quick.
Alright, I'll roll my soak.
1, 2, 1 for the knife, 2 for strength. You take 1 lethal.
I soak it all like a boss.
You do. He stabs you, but it doesn't. I mean, it nicks the skin. It doesn't do any damage.
Alright, she's coming around for the shot to the throat and a willpower on it. And 2 successes. So strength plus 2. 7 dice. Ugh. 2 lethal to the neck.
2 lethal. You crook this guy, and it's obviously a horrible hit. He's not. This isn't going to be enough to take him out. He's gonna come back at you. Yeah, he's gonna come back at you again. Some of his buddies are. I'll roll for them afterwards to see what they do. He, however, misses you.
Alright.
He lunges. His buddies are courage test. They'll be sticking around. 2 of them are getting their buddy like kind of safe. They're just like, holy fucking shit, this psycho bitch is going crazy. 2 of the others, however, are going to come in and try and grab you. So another one's going to come in for a brawl attack to try and punch you. He also misses. And the second one's going to come in for a kick, so this is difficulty 7. That's a hit. That's 2 successes. Do you want to make a defensive or just boss it?
I'm gonna boss this one.
So that's 1 for a kick, 1 for successes, and 2 for strength. That's 2 bashing.
I soak 4.
You easily soak it up. Your action.
Alright, so there's 3 guys around her? Alright, she is going to split her dice pool into 3 attacks.
Okay.
So that would be 3 dice for each attack. It's a dice pool of 9. So first attack. A little late now to declare that as a dirty fighting sort of thing, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Alright, but that's 2 successes, so strength plus 2, which is 7. The first. 2 lethal.
2
On that
lethal.
one? Yeah.
Is this the first guy?
This is the first guy.
Okay. He yeah. You whack him again, and 4 lethal's enough to make this human basically say fuck that, and he'll kind of like he'll fall over backwards.
Alright. She'll turn to the next one, and this guy she is going to go for, again, these nasty, nasty shots to the throat.
Yep, difficulty 8.
She gets 1.
Mhm.
Alright, so that is 6. Only 1 lethal on that one.
Just the 1 lethal. Yeah, you
That
whack
was
him.
to the neck.
Yeah. You clobber him in it. It's very unpleasant, but he's not out of the fight.
Alright, and then the last one, very much the same. 1 success. Yep. And that's strength plus 2, 1. Oh shit! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this last guy, as she hits the first one, just squarely, not with a huge amount of flourish. She actually just kind of punches this guy with the bone knuckles, and she'll hit him like directly in the solar plexus, and just
Fucking drops.
Yeah, just the freaking bone spurs just rake right up the front of his chest and send blood flying up into the air, leaving these 4 concentric like lines up his chest all the way up to his neck and chin as he drops. The second one, when she comes about, her right fist comes around, and coming off of that second hit, she doesn't quite get her full proper footing and only manages to kind of glance his neck, but I think he'll be able to tell pretty quickly that she was going to try and hit him directly in the jugular. And as the third guy comes at her, she'll actually turn around and do kind of a spinning back fist, and just go and just rake those claws right across his neck, just ripping his 5 enough to rip his throat out?
5's enough to pretty much collapse the damn thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, what the one guy who who got hit but didn't go down, will just see literally just a spray of blood and gore just spray out of the guy's neck. As when she comes around, she then bears down on him, and her eyes at this point are locked solely on him, and her face becomes completely devoid of expression at that point.
All right. He fails a courage test and will just try and run away from you.
She is going to chase him down.
Okay, go for it. Faster than his.
Yep, she's going for a dex and brawl roll to tackle him.
Go for it.
1, 2, 3, 4. 4 successes. So that's strength plus 3. That's 8 dice.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, 4 bashing.
You knock him to the ground and wind him, and he's taken 5 damage so far. He's in a pretty bad way.
She is immediately...
Wait, he can soak lashing, sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say.
He soaks 2, but yeah, he's still pretty bad.
Alright, she's immediately going to go for a bite to the neck.
Go for it.
Dex and brawl. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So strength plus 4. Or, well, I mean, I don't know. You want me to roll damage?
No, you can just rip his throat out.
Yeah, she's literally going to drain him dry.
Alrighty. Yeah, so you rip this guy's throat out. Blood splatters across the court. Everyone aside from the gentleman who you did 5 lethal to and the gentleman who you fucked up in the first place, they all see this and they're just like someone screams about crazy blonde bitches on bath salts, and they just all run away. Fuck this. Fuck this. A few of them are calling the police.
Can she see the ones that are running and trying to
There's
call the
about
police?
6 of them, and they're all just running. They're all just running in all directions. Yeah, a few of them are calling the police.
I'd like to be able to see if I can't see any of at least one of them.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, perception awareness.
Alertness, you mean?
Yes, I do. Sorry.
Perception and alertness. It's a respectable dice roll, not the best. 2 successes.
Yeah, sure. The one who you one of the guys who was helping the guy that was on the floor, who already had his phone out, presumably to get an ambulance, is running off, and you can hear him. Basically, you think he's going for it.
I'd like to take him out.
Cool. Yeah, Dex Athletics.
Okay, athletics. That's 5 and 3. That's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Well, I rolled 3 for him. So even though we got a bit of a head start on you, you're just out like a whippet. Just bang, you're on him in a moment.
Alright. I am going to go for a... am I able to actually get in front of him?
No, you still be chasing him from behind.
Alright, then I am just going to try and smack him as hard as I can.
Go for it. It's 2 difficulty. It's 2 easier because you're hitting from behind.
Hitting from behind? I'm going to go for a kick then.
Cool. Difficulty 5.
Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Cool.
So that's 5. That's 10 dice of damage.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3.
11, I think, because it's a kick.
Ah. Of course, that's the one that gets rolled as a 1.
Oh, sorry.
1, 2, 3, 4. It's still 6 though.
Okay, yeah. You just kick him in the back. He sprawls on the ground, knocked unconscious.
Alright, and she is going to dive on him and immediately drain him dry.
Cool.
And she's actually going to look at Arthur to see if he's doing anything about the other ones, unless there are any that are still within close proximity that I can catch up to.
All
right.
right.
Not.
Arthur's leaning against the Lamborghini, watching all this happen. And he'll look at you, look at him, and he's obviously just he gets the impression he's like, fine. And you see him like how you always see it in like films.
Mm-hmm.
Like the vampire, Celerity 4 happens. Arthur just zips off, and fuck it. I'm gonna make some rolls because it's been a while since Arthur's hit anything.
Blue balled for several weeks.
Bang. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 successes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2.
You've got potence on your side.
Knife. Oh yeah, Arthur's just using a knife. And yeah, that is... Oh my god. That is 5 lethal to 1. With old potence.
Nice.
The next one takes... For the old Arthur. That's 3 successes. 1, 2, 3. The next one takes 7 lethal. And the final one takes Heather actually misses the last one. I said he used two slow reactions to run up to them, and then yeah, so he gets 3. Arthur just as quick as you like. The second one's dead before the first has hit the ground, that sort of thing. And there's another one. There's another one next to you.
Ooh.
There's another one in this near you. He wasn't going for his phone, but he's just seen this and he's fucking cacking himself.
Alright, she is going right after him.
Coolio. Go for it.
We can actually buff just one above our generational limit, correct?
You can temporarily, I think, yeah.
Alright, she's going to buff for Dex 6.
Cool.
And she's going to chase this guy down.
No, I think 6 is your generational max. You can just buff to 6, no problem.
Oh, okay, well then going to 6.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, moving fairly quickly. Let's see how well he does.
Yeah, no problem. He gets 1 success. He actually stumbles as you approach him.
Alright, she is going to go for the called shot to the head from behind. So our lower difficulty. So it's just a 6.
Yep.
Alright. 10 dice. Oh, ones. That's no successes. She misses on the attack.
She misses, and the guy just fucking, yeah, you miss him. The guy's gonna make a Dex Athletics roll to get away from you. Gets 1 success.
Alright, I guess she's gonna split her dice pool then and go for a Dex Athletics and then a Dex Brawl.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see, Dex Athletics pool is 9, so half of that rounded down is 4. 1 success.
Okay, yeah, you catch him.
Alright, and then the Brawl attack, still from behind?
Yeah.
Alright, and half of that is 10, so 5 dice on that. 1, 2. 2 successes.
Cool.
Alright, so that's strength plus 1. Strength plus 2, I should say, 7 dice.
Mm-hmm.
3 lethal.
Yeah, that drops him. You punch him in the back. Yeah. So you feel your bone knuckles hitting his ribs, and he screams.
And this one, she's gonna go a bit different on.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna flip him over and get her fingers up underneath his jacket, underneath his shirt. Actually, is he wearing like one of those muscle shirts? Because, you know.
Yeah, sure, why not?
All right. She's gonna place her hands on his rib cage and she's gonna hiss at him, and let blood just drop out of her mouth, so that he can literally feel the terror right before he checks out.
Yeah, he's fucking shitting himself.
And she is going to strength plus medicine, difficulty 7. Going to spend a willpower point on this, and she is going to try and make his bones curve inward to pierce his heart.
Nice. It's medicine strength, right?
Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's all the successes I needed.
There is a crunch and pop as the own bones break and begin to turn in on him, and the look in his face is just there's a scream, and then pop. The heart is more than ruptured.
And while he's sort of lingering there in death throes, as that those last bits of blood that actually made it through his system are kind of making their way out, she's just going to very, very oddly, she's just going to start licking from the back of his jawline all the way up to his lips. And then she'll stand up and turn back to Arthur. She's probably got blood all over her fists at this point. She's just going to start licking her fists a bit as she walks towards Arthur. Are you not entertained?
Yeah, that was funny. Well done. Where did you learn to fight like that?
As I said, my sire took me when I was still in the Israeli Defense Forces, I remember.
Interesting. Well, my dear. Yes, you have entertained me. Yeah, I think we should be going. A little massacre like this. Well, they'll probably put it down as, I don't know. What do you think they'll say? Urban violence, something like that.
Are there any particularly vicious gangs in Sister City?
There were, but we took with them to New York with us.
I see.
It's fine.
In any event, Evaline will, before they actually trot off, she'll actually go to each of the felled bodies and collect cell phones.
Yeah, cool. Arthur will just, he'll just wander about. He'll look at the damage she's done, prod it.
Actually, there's still a few of them that are still alive, correct?
Yeah, but some of them got away.
Ah.
It's fine. Okay. And Arthur will say that in character, but it'll be fine.
I see. Well, that was certainly more thrilling and exhilarating than spending my night in a dungeon, in a manner of speaking.
It was.
It's a shame about all these building components going to waste like this. But there will be more.
Tell you what, my dear, one last thing. This little prize I've got for you. I know you said you didn't want to punch a bishop, but, well, give it your best shot. And Arthur's gonna blood buff himself up, and he'll just stay back and he'll be like, "Promise I won't hurt you," kind of teasing her a little bit. Give it your best shot.
She is going to buff her strength up to generational max, and if she's allowed, she'll also buff one above on dex.
Yeah, sure, I'll go for it. How much blood have you used? Oh, you've been refilling that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easily gained back 15 from the 3 people I've drained.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. So that is dex 7. That's 11 dice. Yeah. 1, 2.
2. Okay.
Unless since you're standing still, it goes to the lower difficulty.
No, he's dodging.
Oh,
He's
okay.
dodging. Arthur will dodge. So dex.
That almost seems unfair, damn it.
And celerity. That's
More than I have.
Arthur's he's having a bit of fun with you. You punch and Arthur, quick as you like, just steps out of the way. Just steps back. It's actually, if I'm honest, he makes you look slightly clumsy. Says, "Oh, come on, my dear, you got to do better than that."
She'll mutter something about Bruja, and she'll go for a second punch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go for it.
Damn. Once. 1, 2, 3, 4.
4. Nice. Speaking of ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 minus 3 is 2. You got more than 2. Arthur is slower this time. Maybe his cockiness is getting the better of him. You connect with 2 successes.
Alright. So that is strength 6 plus 2. No. Strength 6 plus 2, so that's 8 dice. 1, 2, but not a whole lot on the damage roll.
There is Arthur will soak. He just bluff. Yeah. Arthur soaks 2.
Yep.
So you soak. You whack Arthur, but it doesn't appear to do much. However, Arthur returns. You got me. And there's a slightly mean look in his eyes, and he will go in for a clinch. So it's a dex brawl.
Okay.
And it's opposed to see if I can clinch you.
All right.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 successes.
7.
Potions.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
You win. Arthur. Arthur, have you rolled the right number of dice?
Yeah, 11 dice, I think.
Oh, you have strength 7.
Oh, this is. You said Dex Brawl.
No, sorry, strength. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's fine. Arthur goes in for the and tries to grab you, but you pull out of his grasp.
So you said you were going to give her a free shot, correct? Well, I mean, originally.
It's your turn. Yeah, go for it.
She's going to use that opening to steal his face.
To steal his face.
Exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah, go for it. Melee dex, difficulty 8, I guess.
No, she's going to try and fleshcraft his face off.
Yeah, I mean, you still need to touch his face, though.
Okay. Ones! Bloody ones. Still 2 successes, though.
Sure. Arthur, you slap a hand out to his face and just vicissitude across it.
Alright.
Arthur whips around from you, turns around, and just grabs his face. And unbeknownst to you, he's rather experienced with vicissitude. He will spend a blood to. Actually, he'll roll stamina survival.
What generation is Arthur?
He's 9th.
Oh, shit. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So, no, he actually has a lot of experience with Tzimisce. He knows how this works. And he will heal, and he'll heal his face. Over a turn, but he won't let you know. He'll just be like, my face. Actually, no, he won't. He'll just be like, and hands covering his face. What do you do?
Roll.
Actually, yeah, I'll tell you what. I'll make a manipulation performance roll.
Yeah, you're probably gonna win it, but I'm gonna roll my perception empathy anyway. Let's see where this goes.
I have 3 successes.
Should have spent the willpower point, but it's alright.
Giving you willpower.
Should have, I didn't.
Every scene, it's like 5 willpower.
It's not 5 willpower, thank you very much. I resent that, sir. She's gonna go, and while you're kind of holding your face, she's gonna try and... She's gonna go for a dirty fighting trick and try and knee you in the crotch.
Go for it.
Ooh, this might actually work out pretty well.
Nice.
1, 2, 3, plus 4, so that's 7 successes. So that's just straight up strength plus 6.
Arthur. Fuck it, no, he won't dodge.
12 dice.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Even with bashing damage, that hurts.
Damn, yeah, it does. A full-on knee to the groin. Arthur soaks 3 of it, so that's 5, which becomes 3 bashing.
Mm-hmm.
And Arthur takes it. He will roll on the ground, still miming and pretending to hum, and then he will open his hands and just say, "Peekaboo," and dread gaze you. What's your wits and courage?
That would be, looks like a 7.
7. Okay, Arthur's gonna put a willpower into this.
You and your willpower.
I never use willpower in Siege. I think this is the first time I've done it in ages. That's 2 successes. Arthur just makes a scary face at you. You're slightly taken aback.
And I'm not going to spend willpower to negate that presence. Just don't have the time. Or don't have the willpower to spare at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to impress people these past 3 days. But you dread gazers. That takes 2 out of her actions.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna then try and stomp your face.
Okay.
Any bonuses for you being on the ground?
He's not really prone because he's kind of on the ground by choice. So, but yeah, let's say it's +1.
+1. +1 difficulty?
Sorry, one easier. Sorry.
Okay.
So it'll be difficulty 7 for a face stomp.
Yeah. So
Is this going to use your specialty, face stomping?
I would say that's a pretty dirty maneuver.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Go for it.
Shit.
Nice.
1, 2, 3, and then that's 9 successes.
Okay, Arthur's gonna dodge.
Is that lethal?
It will be. It will be to the head.
Yeah, 9 successes.
Arthur's gonna dodge, and he's gonna put a point of willpower into it because gulp. 1, 2, 3 minus 1, 2. You hit with 6 successes.
All right, so that is strength plus 5. That's 11 dice. You haven't even seen the damage dice, damage roll. This is where it all comes together or falls apart. Respectable though. 1, 2, 3.
3 lethal. Okay, Arthur will soak. Arthur soaks 3.
Yeah.
You stamp on his face. It doesn't appear to. There's no crunching of bone. Despite your rather, you're a martial artist. You know your shot was perfectly placed, but Arthur will. Arthur will at this point. He's going to activate celerity as he hasn't been, and he's gonna basically zip away from you, and I think he's gonna zip away from you,
keeping his distance.
He's gonna zip away, and he'll once he's at a distance, he'll pinch his nose and just theatrically make like that bloody hurt.
At this point, Evaline's going to show just a small bit of emotion as she licks some blood off of her knuckle again, and she'll just smirk just slightly at him. I'll ask you again. Are you entertained?
Yeah. This was fun. It's nice to see that there are members of the Sabbat that can actually fight.
She hasn't relaxed her guard just yet, but she's just watching Arthur.
She hasn't.
No, she might have lowered her hands a bit, but her stance is still that as she's half expecting him to take one last swing.
You think I'm gonna come after you? You think big bad bishop can't take a bit of a beating, even though I asked for it?
I know how those in the place of power like to have the last word, oftentimes more than not.
My dear, I'm perfectly secure in my abilities to fight. This wasn't about me proving I'm better than you. This was about me assessing your combat capabilities, with of course the guise of, oh, I'm terribly bored. Go kick the crap out of some humans for me. Oh, my dear, you've performed remarkably well. So, I offered you a little prize. And Arthur's actually going to walk right up to her at the moment. She can keep a guard if he wants. I think he's going to spend at least one blood to heal her. What does she do? Is she going to come after him?
No, she's just going to stand there somewhat static, but again, the way her feet are placed, it shows that she's still half expecting to be punched, at the very least.
Arthur makes no movement to punch her or do anything at all. He'll actually extend a hand and say, "Well done, Evaline."
She'll chew her lip for just a moment before deciding to reach out and take it, figuring at this point if things go, if he tries to extend this for just a round or two more, that she's capable enough that she can at least prove that she's not a pushover. But she'll take the hand.
Arthur, aside from a slightly strong grip, there's no aggression to his handshake. Have you joined a pack yet?
I'm still assessing my options. I don't know much about the bastards, but the Time Bandits, I've come across a few of their members.
There's the 40k, the Reborn. I think the Reborn might be needing a new member soon.
Local trouble?
Part of the reason I'm back in the city is there's a certain disciplinary matter to one of their members.
I see. Who, may I ask what their pack consists of?
I believe they have... Oh, actually, you might not like the Reborn. A member of Clan Tremere is the Ductus, I think.
She'll raise a brow just ever so slightly. A Tremere. I thought they were all part of the Ivory Tower.
Not all of them. It's almost never... Well, things almost never exist in absolutes.
Would you consider him to be vouch-worthy for your part?
For my part, I hate to admit it, but yes.
She'll consider it. And what about the others?
I'm not sure. There's a panda, although he might not be around for too long. And then I don't know. I can't remember. I've not been in the city so long. You'll have to find out yourself. But my dear, I did offer you a present, didn't I? If you entertained it. Arthur will take out of a pouch at his side, thankfully not smashed, a small hand mirror, and will hand it to her.
She'll look at the mirror, hold it up. And what does this hand mirror do?
Take a look at it.
She'll hold it up and look at it.
when she looks in the mirror, she sees whatever her true self is. She will see a creature of metamorphosis, whatever her inner self truly is. It's a Tremere mirror of second sight.
She will appear as she did when Arthur first saw her, at least to herself. And she'll raise a brow. This is an interesting little trinket.
More than just that. You can use that to tell other supernatural creatures. It shows creatures in their true form. It's very useful.
I see. They had... Actually, I can't remember if the Time Bandits had mentioned the dog tagging or not, so I'm just going to leave that one alone. She just takes the item and very carefully will pull a bit of cloth, like a handkerchief, from one of her pockets and wrap it up gently and then place it in the inner pocket of her coat. And you're just giving this to me to keep.
I am. I've been trying to get rid of the fucking things for months now, but no one seems to want to play in games of instinct with me. Maybe I play too rough.
You certainly do have a certain way about you. I could see that you've probably earned yourself a reputation.
I don't know. Maybe it's a bit cocky asshole.
You're certainly confident, but it's not without merit.
Yeah, Clanbrew have certain talents.
Yes. Well, I thank you, Arthur, for this gift.
It's alright, my dear. Use it in service of the Savant.
It is what I'm here for. With that, she'll straighten her jacket a bit and look at her hands that are probably still covered in blood. And she'll take a few steps back from Arthur. This Tremere fellow, does he go by a name?
Bashir Marlowe.
How can I find him?
Be present at the trial. I'm sure he'll be there. Or whatever Hellwood, Wild Hunt, whatever we're going to do for him.
And how will I find this trial?
Make friends. Get the people to invite you.
Very well. She places her hands in her pockets at this point and takes a few steps to stand parallel with Arthur for a moment. Just looks at him for a moment and then continues on, walking back towards the direction they came.
Arthur will watch her go and then just think, they grew up so fast. And he will go back to his car, sit in it, and say, right, you bastard. I'll get you to work even if it kills me.
Go on, give it a roll.
Shall I?
Give it a roll.
Let's just see. Now his dex is boosted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. Actually, he gets a hang of it. He drives okay.
And I think there we can end our scene.